Brentford's transfer business so far this transfer window. As long as there's no serious outgoings, there is always speculation, I suppose, about Ivan Toney. As long as there is no outgoings, and I think the business so far has been pretty good. We've recruited two very young players, Keane Lewis Potter and Aaron Hickey, giving them both very long contracts by comparison with the normal 3 years. Brentford obviously feel that there's a lot of potential in those two. Do I think they're going to strengthen the squad more? Possibly. The goalkeeper situation has been really good. The Albanian guy coming in, I think that's a really good signing. Maybe midfielder Damsgaard, that would be another really good signing. And the potential of signing Mudryk from Shakhtar Donetsk, if we were to get that over the line as well. He showed up pretty good in the World Cup qualifiers against Scotland and Wales back in June. So all in all, I think we've done pretty well this summer.
So our transfer business so far is actually pretty impressive, considering the spluttering start and the ongoing saga with Christian Eriksen, which eventually led to him deciding he was going to retire early. And yes, that is a Man United jab. I'm pretty impressed. We've got Hickey, Keane Lewis Potter, two promising young talent on long-term deals, which suggests that we're aiming to stay in the Premier League. It's not a short-term vision. Strakosha is an incredible goalkeeper, and the experience of Ben Mee, I think, will just overall around the club. I wouldn't mind us picking up that guy from Wolfsburg who played yesterday, or Bardi, but overall I'd say it's probably about an 8 out of 10 as far as transfer business goes.
At the beginning, it was all about Christian Eriksen. Was he going to sign with us? Was he going to Everton, Tottenham, and then Man United? It was all becoming a bit of a circus, to be honest. I was getting a bit fed up about it all. Yes, I would have liked for him to stay with us. He brought a lot of experience to our team, which we did need. But to be honest, I think it was all part of the plan that he was never going to stay with us. He just needed to get his foot back into the Premier League. And obviously that's what he's done. He's gone to Man United. But saying that, I'm happy with our signings so far. Hickey's young. He seems like he's going to be a great starter. Lewis Potter as well. We've got, both not cheap for our standards, but look like good investments. And then obviously our two frees, because they were both out of contracts. Ben Mee and the goalie Thomas, I don't know how you say his name, Strauska. So they're both experienced and players, and I'm looking forward to seeing all four of them play in the new season.
Right, so Brentford, I think our transfer window has been good. We've signed two defenders, we've signed someone to play up front, and we signed a goalkeeper. It's good. I'm happy with it, but I'm not excited about it, if you know what I mean, because we've lost Eriksen this transfer window. We need a replacement for Eriksen. We need an attacking midfielder. We have put some bids on attacking midfielders, such as Danish international Damsgaard, and also a Ukrainian international Mudryk. So if we do manage to sign a midfielder this transfer window, it would be perfect for us. So just to get this transfer window to become perfect, we need to sign that attacking midfielder.
As for players to look out for this season and the potential for Brentford players to really show their potential, I think for me the one outstanding player could be Wissa. He seems to have that knack of scoring goals. In the pre-season games that I've seen, he missed badly against Wolfsburg when he went through one-on-one with a goalkeeper just before half-time and unfortunately put it wide. But he's shooting from all angles, and his run of goals towards the end of last season was really good. So I think he could be like our secret weapon. The focus, I think, will always be on Ivan Toney and Brian as well. He needs to step up, start taking chances. But I think Wissa could be our goal scorer. Other players to look out for, again, is probably midfield. And I'd be interested to see how Hickey goes as well, new fullback we got in. Whether they use him in 4-4-2 or maybe later on when Aya comes back from injury, they might push him up a little bit further.
I think Norgard and Henry are going to continue to be our outstanding performers, but I'm expecting big things from Wissa this season, because you could see when he got the consistency and he got the games how much he performed, and even in the pre-season he's looked the most bright, he's looked the brightest, he's looked the sharpest. And yeah, okay, fine, he fluffed a chance against Wolfsburg, but again, he looks dangerous, he's doing all the right motions. So I think he's going to be the one that's going to have the big season. He's going to be our star player. So yeah,
A star player, I think we're all Brentford supporters are going to mention Ivan Toney here. He's a player of high quality, and we'll be leaning on him to get double figures again this season in goals. If he does that, then we have every chance of another successful season. But it's not just down to his goals. He's an all-round player. You see him up front, and then you see him all the way back defending. You know, we rely on him massively, and you think of Brentford and you think of Ivan Toney. Also, Brian Mbembo is a player I believe will make the step up and prove his class again this season, and hopefully actually get more goals in the back of the net instead of hitting the woodwork this season. Please, Brian, please. But, you know, we're not a one-man team. You know, one of my favourite players is Christian Norgard. I think he's absolute class, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he plays this season as well.
Right, so for my star player of the season, I think it might be a bit like people might not agree with me, but I have to go for my boy Rico. He was great last season. He lost the ball at times. He didn't play to his greatest at times, but hopefully in the upcoming season he can really push out his potential, and possibly, I know there's a long line, but possibly if he plays well enough, he can get into the England squad for the World Cup. It is very out there, but if he does well enough and Southgate sees that, it could be a potential for him. So for the star player of the season, I'm going to go for Rico Henry.
Expectations for the new season, well, it's more on hope, really. I hope we don't get sucked into this second season syndrome. I think we're going to be good enough to stay up again. But this time, really, we need to push on. And I think at the end of last season, I did say that progress would be a good run in either of the, or even both of the cup competitions, or even challenging for a place in Europe. I don't think we're going to be top four. That's out of the question. You never know. But yeah, good cup run. Make ourselves difficult to beat against the teams like Manchester City, Liverpool, and you know, pick up more points away from home. Man United away as well, 3-0 defeat. You know, we didn't really threaten them. Liverpool away, again, not really threatening. Man City, well, I think they toyed with us really. We need to turn those sort of performances then into more positive and at least threaten them and score some goals.
As long as we're not in the bottom three, that's a good season as far as I'm concerned. No, I think we're going in the right steps. We're making the right moves, keeping hold of Tony, Henry, those kind of players are pivotal to our success. Losing Pinnock and Aya won't help, but I think overall, as long as we're nowhere near relegation, I can't really complain. Ideally, I'd like us to be pushing for the proper mid-table spots, but I'm just happy to be where we are.
I'm feeling optimistic for the season ahead. As they say, anything can happen in the Prem. I think we did perhaps overachieve last season, finishing 13th. And I like to be a bit hopeful that we could finish in perhaps a similar position. I'm not naive to think that we're going to finish up top with the big boys, but I am hopeful that we won't be finishing in the bottom three for sure. Either way, I'm excited and I can't wait for the new season. Come on, you bees.
For my expectation next season, I think we'd continue being a mid-table team. It's going to be a lot harder next season, especially with our rivals Fulham being promoted and being in the same league with us, and with their transfer window they've had a very good transfer window. And then Nottingham Forest has just signed Jesse Lingard, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle, because last season we had Burnley, Norwich and Watford. Brentford beat all of those. We beat Chelsea. Last season was phenomenal. We had Christian Eriksen. He's now gone to United. So it's going to be, his loss will be noticeable. His presence was noticeable. So I just think it's going to be a very average season, because we're going to need to get used to not having the likes of Eriksen, and it's going to be super difficult.
As for a predicted finishing place in the Premier League, well, again, hopefully stay out of any sort of problems. Any place above the bottom three would be great, but we probably have the potential. We've got 1 year's experience now. We know what it's like. We know how fast the ball moves. We know we're going to be punished. If we can cope with all of that, then I don't really think that a top 10 place is out of the question. So, top 10 would be fantastic.
In terms of a finish in the table, I'd probably go with, I'd take anywhere between 13th and 15th. But I think other teams around us appear to have strengthened more in the areas they needed, which we managed to capitalise on. And obviously we do have second season syndrome, so I would say probably around 15th or 16th is where we'll finish, which for me is a perfect season.
I'd like to think we would finish maybe 15th place.
I think we would finish 13th or 14th next season, because same place as last season. If we sign that attacking midfielder and we have the same season as last season but better, we could be pushing for a top 10 spot. We really could. And just like how Thomas Frank is and everything, I think that we would be able to get that top 10 spot if we try. And it is very out there. If our performance is phenomenal all season, we'll be fine. We'll be in the top 10. But being realistic, that's what you have to be in the Prem. I think we're going to finish 13th, but there could be a possibility for us to get relegated. because anything can happen.